What a day. So I've said here, what do you do when you've not got enough resources? Scarcity is everything now, eh? The amount of people that are clambering for, like, lorry drivers, a contractor, a joiner, an electrician, a builder. It's like everybody needs them, and they're full of the gunnels of work. Some of them are backed up to next year in terms of the workload that they've got. But luckily I've got some really good people I've still got on board with me that'll do it for me when they need to. And that's because I look after them. I pay them well as well. Always pay them on time. Always pay your contractors on time every single time. In fact, pay them quicker than on time, because they'll always remember you for that, and they'll always come back to you, and they'll drop everything and they'll look after you as the first person on the list every single time. You better believe it. So that's what I do. I realise the importance of, cash flow to a small business. They're not in the business actually being credit controllers and chasing your money all the time. They've done a job for you, they've done it well, so you should pay them on time, if not sooner. They shouldn't be there to chase you. Anyway, talk about scarce resources and that. So what do you do when you've not got enough resource? You just have to pull all the stops out and do it yourself. So I've been round today to one of my properties, and I was over at the weekend actually. I popped round just to measure up and then get some details, measurements and stuff like that for fitting a kitchen. I've got I think 3 or 4 kitchen fitting refurbs, property refurbs going on at once now, and I'm backing them all up because I've stopped getting kitchens at Howdens. Howdens are tragic. I've tried time and time again. It's almost like I've got to plead Howdens to give them my business. That's how I feel about Howdens. They're actually shoddy. They don't get back in touch with you. They don't return your calls. And it's like that. I've had enough. So I'm off to B&Q. So I've been down to B&Q. Abby's done a wee drawing for me and all the rest of it. She's done a drawing for me before, and it's worked out perfectly. I've ordered everything. I know the exact delivery date is going to be the 8th of October. I've spoken to my contractor who's done another job for me, and the delivery date for that kitchen is the first week in September. So he's going to be finished that kitchen at the same time, almost ready to go into the next kitchen of the next property I've got. So if you're going to get a kitchen, you better order it now, because again, all the deliveries and all the rest of it have been put back. So if you order a kitchen now, you'll be getting it well into October, if you try to get something now. So if you're going to do something for Christmas, if you hope you're getting a kitchen and a bathroom for Christmas, you better do it now and get it planned in. So you just pull out the stops. That's what you have to do. Everybody thinks it's an easy life. Being in my position, it's not at all. You just have to be more solution orientated in terms of what you're doing. And it's no. And sometimes, as I said, you have to pull out stops. And that's pushed back my stuff that I was meant to do for today, because my diary is back to back with stuff. So I've then put my stuff in for tomorrow, and I'm going to have to start work probably about 6 o'clock tomorrow morning in order to get all that workload out the way before I actually start. It's supposed to be at 9 o'clock. Welcome to my world. Hey, listen, I'll do today what others will not, to achieve tomorrow what others cannot. That's really what it comes down to. And if you're willing to put the work in, and you're willing to put the time in, and you're willing to work smart, and actually you'll get a good return as a result of that, and it'll pay dividends, and it compounds over the years to a huge amount in terms of the returns that you would get. It doesn't happen instantaneously. It will happen compounded over a period of time. If you make, listen, look at it this way, if you make a 1% improvement every single day, just 1% every single day, over a year, that's a 365% improvement. 366 if we've got a leap year. There, I'm being exact here. But that's essentially it. If you will make a 365% improvement over a year, and a lot of people don't realise that, and don't have that mentality, and they don't think about that. They don't think about the compounded efforts that they do, and the small gains that they get every single day in what they're doing, even every single week. I talked about it the weekend about my running. To get back to running, I've actually planned it in my diary for 7 o'clock every Saturday morning now for the foreseeable future, forever. I will be out 7 o'clock every single Saturday morning running. I go out swimming in the pool for 2 kilometres every single Wednesday morning at 7 o'clock again. So that is how you compound over a period of time, and you actually make huge gains as a result. Absolutely, Eileen. Yeah, Abby did your bedroom plan, fantastic quality. Yeah, absolutely. I can't. B&Q used to be an inferior brand, but they've really upped their game over the years. Their carcasses are now 18mm carcasses, and they're good, solid quality, and they're if not better than Howdens. And so Howdens has actually lost their ground now in their market share as a result of that, because they've become too complacent. They've just sat back on their laurels. Now, if anybody doesn't know, Howdens is actually MFI. That's who they were. Howdens was the trade arm for MFI. And then they started putting their Howdens kitchens in MFI. So there was no difference in the quality between MFI and Howdens anymore, because they'd actually put their trade stuff into MFI. And that's why MFI's disappeared. I mean, most people will just go straight to Howdens now to get a kitchen. And they make it easy and accessible for people. That's probably the best thing about Howdens, or the only thing about Howdens, is if you do need something off the cuff on the last minute because they've no delivered something on time, then Howdens is obviously going to be the one, because they've usually got it in the depot. However, they run short of supplies. They're not carrying all that stock anymore. So they're losing their market share and their ground as a result of that. And B&Q have now caught up. Magnet have now caught up as well. Magnet is actually doing ready-built carcasses, just like Howdens do. So they can do ready-built, and they could do flat pack as well. So it just shows you, if you become complacent and sit on your laurels and think you're actually going to be there for the rest of your life doing that, it's like any product life cycle. The product life cycle of a product, it goes like that in the beginning and goes right up, and then it gets to a plateau, and then it plateaus out. And unless you've got a unique selling point or something to add on to that to get it to plateau up again, what happens is the life cycle is the product then goes down. I'll tell you a classic example of a product life cycle: X Factor. Think about it. In the beginning, huge amount of activity, huge amount of viewers, all the rest of it, and then it got to its plateau, and then it's down, and it's gone. That's what happens, and that's typically in any single thing that you do. In order to get the product to go further, you have to add an additional point to it. You have to upgrade it, you have to improve it, or sitting still just doesn't work. And that's exactly what's happened to Howdens. Why do you think we are now a multimedia business? And we're more or less a Fife Properties television programme now and channel. And we do all our stuff on video and social media and YouTube and Instagram, because we've now engaged that format. And why do you think our business and our brand is growing as a result, and more people are seeing? Why do you think we've gone from, when I took over Fife Properties in 2012, from 7,000 visitors to our website, to the website at that time, 7,000 visitors every single year? That's 7,000 visitors a year, that's 600 a month, and I was jumping for joy at that time. And now we have 450,000 visitors a year. Yeah, that's about 40,000 visitors a month. That's almost the size of Hampden. That's the Hydro sold out twice in Glasgow. And that's every month that come onto our website. Within a space of 9 years, that's happened as a result of that. And it's only going to go from strength to strength as we improve and add new products and new services in terms of what we do, and bring on new people and grow as a result, and expand, but grow organically as a result as well. I don't know how I got to that subject from coming on to say, what do you do when you're over the head? But I suppose that's the ramblings of, that's my mindset. I always think, eat, sleep and breathe this every single time. I'd be interested to know how you thought, what your thoughts are on this. What do you do when you have a challenge and you can't overcome it? Do you actually do what I do? Do you actually put it in for the next day and you actually start early in the morning? I mean, it's a classic example is when somebody says to you, I've not got enough time to do that. My first thoughts, and how I was taught with other people as well, I used to say that. I used to use this excuse all the time. I've not got enough time to do this. I've not got enough hours in the day. And the person says, what time do you go to your bed at night? And I went, go to my bed about 11. We'll go to your bed at 11:30 then. Spend a half an hour on doing it. Oh, never thought about that. What time do you get up in the morning? Oh, well, I get up at 8 o'clock in the morning. We'll get up at 7:30 in the morning. Spend the extra half an hour on what you're doing. I've just found you an hour extra in the day to be productive. Could you imagine that hour extra in the day to be productive? That's 5 hours a week if it's just a 5-day week you work. So that's 5 hours a week. If you multiply that by 50 weeks, because you've got 52 weeks in a year, you need a couple of weeks for Christmas, holidays. So 50 times 5, that's 250 hours I've found you. Just by going to bed an hour, half an hour later, and getting up half an hour earlier. That's 250 hours I've found you. Now, If you work a 40-hour week or a 35-hour week, how much does that equate to? So when you think about it, that's 2, 3, that's 3, that's 6. That's over 7 weeks you've recovered. 7 weeks. Could you imagine getting paid an extra 7 weeks in your salary? Because effectively, if you were using that to be productive and actually earning and monetizing it, you'd get another 7 weeks salary in your hand just for going to your bed and half an hour later and getting up half an hour earlier and actually spending that time on being productive and actually working as a result to make money and earn money. Now, I don't mean trading time for money here, because that's what it sounds like. But what I'm meaning is actually investing that time and effort and possibly in educating yourself to get a higher education level, to get yourself later on down the line, maybe 2 or 3 years down the line. Because when you think about in a year, 250 hours, that could pass a course. That could be a national certificate in business studies, an extra 250 hours. In a 2-year period or a 3-year period, that could be a diploma. That could be a university degree that you've learned. Now, if you got that, what do you think that would do to your earning capacity? That would actually upgrade you straight away. You'd be able to get a better job. You'd probably get a salary increase as a result of the skills that you've acquired just because you went to your bed half an hour later and you got up half an hour earlier and spent that time productively on gaining the knowledge to earn more money. And that's my wee rant for tonight. Tell me what you're doing, okay? And I'll speak to you later. Bye-bye for now.